Yeah.
So they paint it. You've seen the ones with all the white dots on it. They paint
Right.
it, and this takes them hours and hours of work. They paint it with a vegetable dye, and they paint all the details. They shine light on it, so they got the detail right, and then they photograph it, clean it off. It's obviously degradable, and some of the sites they'll dig them up, uncover the soil, photograph them, and then bury them. So their work is essential. It's essential for our knowing of what is going on. Because there's
Mm.
stuff in rock art I don't understand. I
Yeah.
mean, the bar wave I understand, but there's, the spirals we understand because we can feel them with our hands.
Mm.
Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? But
Yeah.
and anyone who's thinking this is our history, this is so important that it's preserved. Anyone thinking
Absolutely.
of funding any money to any science, any because if we cannot, all our history's been killed.
Mm.
Everything's been
Yes.
killed off. Recently, Britain and America invaded Iraq, and they went and did exactly what the Spanish did to the Mayan records, which is they
Yes.
took all the went into the museums. We're supposed to be liberating them and getting them on our side because of
Yeah.
the tyrant, right? So they go into the museums. The Mayans, I got a little quote here from the Mayans, and see if I can just read it because it's how they were more hurt about the burning of their. Perhaps I didn't print it. No, I didn't. One of the authors. This is a quote now. One of the authors of the destruction was Friar Diego de Landa,
Mm-hmm.
1524 to 1579. The Bishop of Yucatan. Later in his life, he said, "We found a number of books in these characters. They contained nothing. It was not seen as superstition, lies of the devil." Now, it didn't fit the Christian, the Catholic Church's view, the Spanish Catholic view of their creation. We burned them all, which the Maya, regretted to an amazing degree, and it caused them much affliction. So
Yes.
that's his report on it. And so we want to liberate Iraq. We want to return the people, back to their culture because, they were under a tyrant and we nick all their stuff and we haven't learned anything from it.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
We take away their Sumerian culture.
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
hide truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Absolute. Oh, yes. And it's interesting, too, that the museums were the first places they went to and
Well,
started
that's right.
destroying.
And they've ended it. So some researchers, I haven't got the evidence. I can't give you the evidence of who's bought what, but there are some researchers who have stated that they've ended on the antiquities market of the Americas. I don't
Mm.
know. I
Mm-hmm.
can't say that I've met anyone who's bought them,
Mm-hmm.
but we know that Pope Gregory rebalanced the Mayan calendar. So what documents was he using? Did all the documents get burned? What went to the Vatican? What went to the current Americas? We've learned nothing.
Yeah. Well,
We've no way. Sorry?
If Cliff is right, soon those documents will be liberated from the Vatican.
Well, and so this rock art now, right? So we go back to the rock art. We
Yeah.
have to preserve it. So if
Yes.
anyone's got £5 or donate it to the Scandinavian Rock Art Society.
Mm. Mm.
I'm not because that is my past,
Yeah.
and
Well,
that it just
it's all
forward.
that's our all of our past, though,
It's all of
isn't
our.
it? Oh,
It is the stuff that we're missing that makes us psychotic.
ah, brilliantly put. Brilliantly put. Yes. Wow. And then in your book, you also said in the late Stone Age and early Bronze Age that the Earth's declining magnetic field resulted in the separation from the knowledge of this creative energy, the ancients called gods. As the Earth's magnetic field starts to increase, the unveiling of the orbs will take place. They will become illuminated by charge alone, as the Canadian scientist Hutchinson of the Hutchinson effect has created in his labs. Would you say some more about this and what you envision taking place as we experience increased solar activity and perhaps also increased energies from space?
Right. Okay. A number of years ago, I wrote to Hutchinson, the Canadian scientist, and what was happening was that he was using Tesla coils out of decommissioned battleships, and in one of the reports on YouTube or whatever, I saw him talking about these magnetic mists and balls and spheres that he was creating. So it matched up with the magnetic field slowing the orbs down, illuminating it. So it was one of the things that I was looking at, and I came across this effect. So that was why I was interested in him. I sent him a load of pictures of orbs and said to him, have you got any in the email, right? I sent a picture of, have you got any photographs of these from your lab work, because you're using these high magnetic fields. And all he sent back the email saying, "Wow, those pictures are cool." And that was about it. And I thought, okay, that's yeah. So these magnetic fields. So as you get close to the Van Allen belts, you'll see these orbs. One of the Voyager reports was put up on the internet. On BBC, or one of them saying that the shuttle had gone up very, very close to the Van Allen belts, and the astronauts had seen the spheres passing through the sides of the spacecraft. Even with their eyes closed, they could see these spheres, and that was pulled off the internet pretty damn quickly.
Wow.
When I was writing the book, that occurred, and of course I was looking at space because I knew that would happen. And so, if you get closer to magnetic fields, let's say the tether event, you've seen the tether event in space, have you?
Yes.
So you've got the orbs that are swimming like an aquarium type of. So in the magnetic fields, because they're closer, they move closer to the energetic fields off the surface of the Earth. And there's a researcher called Jeffrey Stray who talks about Earth Chi and Heaven Chi descending, so the heavens descend into the Earth. So we've got the magnetic field dropping from the heavens, the magnetic field rising from the Earth, touching each other. That reformation of those two magnetic fields illuminate the whole process. So it's just a quicker rotation to the Earth. Magnetic fields intensifying, heaven chi dropping, earth chi rising, but people have misunderstood this because they say, it's the gods are descending.
No.
So they've got these gods in spaceships coming down instead of a magnetic field.
Yes.
So that there is a problem with it, and you can understand why they do. But if they did this research and they came on this journey, they would see it eventually.
Wow.
There's also a video by Tesla. Now that's interesting because he's got. I think he was working for Westinghouse at the time. It's an old video, and to the untrained eye, it's old film, so it's breaking up and it's going black and whatever. But there's the story of Tesla, I think it is, and they got the Tesla and rows of Tesla coils, I suppose. Anyway, you can see the bars firing from the floor because I've watched so many of them, right? So because I've watched so many of them, and they're moving much slower than the ones outdoors because you have to slow them down to a 30-second, and they have this distinct movement, and I'm pretty sure I've never downloaded it and I've never it needs to be slowed one more time so that I can have a look at it properly. But I would swear that they are the same bars that I'm looking at, and they're caused by the increased magnetic field. So there's a lot of evidence to what I'm suggesting is there. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yes. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Wow. Thank you. We have a lot to look forward to, I think.
Yeah, but then simply, the Kachinas take their masks off. The Hopi talk about the Kachinas taking their
Yes.
masks off. But the one thing that's very important with that statement, so the Kachinas are the Orbs to me. The one thing that's very important to that statement is even to the uninitiated, to everybody, everybody will see it. It's not, everyone will see this. And so are we at this point? Do we think that I was predicting that the Earth's rotation is going to increase. It slowly is. I was predicting a leap second is going to go into a negative, into a negative for the first time since leap seconds were invented.
Yeah.
Now we need to look at these signatures to say that this evidence is now happening. Do you know what I mean? And we had a few seconds from the number of earthquakes that have been knocked off the rotational, increased the speed. Sorry,
The speed.
So it's interesting.
Lovely. Yes, very, very interesting. Well, thank you very much for that, Paul. And I have a surprise. Neil has been able to join us now, so I'd like to introduce him and hand it over to him.
Yeah.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, Neil. How are you?
My apologies for being late to everything, but traffic being what it was and various circumstances. Sorry, Paul. Thank you for allowing me to be here. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Yeah.
From forum member Jules. Paul, there have been a lot of story of orbs near crop circles in history. Alex Putney even relates a story where an orb downed grasses that lay in closely twisted swirls and discolored plants, possibly due to microwave energy from the orbs. What do you think of this, and have you seen or has your research found whether orbs have created down crops or grass formations?
It's not anything that we've been drawn to by the research. I know that some crop circles are not real. I know that some crop circles are real. I know people who've been for years to the crop circle symposium in Glastonbury. And I've spoken to a number of those people, and I asked them what they felt of the energy inside those circles, and many of them have said that it gives them headaches and makes them sick. So it is a real phenomenon, but if it's the magnetic field, you would expect orbs to be there. So I wouldn't. If it's an electromagnetic or microwave or energetic outpouring from the Earth, then you would expect the orbs to be there.
So what you're saying is, in your experience, the orbs do not leave ill effects around people.
The orbs. Can you repeat that again, please?
Well, you were relating to the fact that some of the crop circles are not, created by other entities. In other words, the ones that the circles are created that give people headaches, leave them in feeling less than comfortable that way.
Yeah. There's one lady who used to do some of our administration who's been for about 20, probably 20 years, about 20 years, going to, or 10, 20 years. And she said she gets a number of crop circles that because they do tours of them, she's actually been into these circles, and a number of them actually will start migraines off.